Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those who are new, I know you can benefit. So it's Saturday, I've been multitasking. You know, it's really interesting. I always have like a 3-second window between wanting to just go back to bed and blow off the day and getting it in gear. And if you can hear the laundry going, it's because I chose to get it into gear. So I actually mucked the stalls, cleaned up the pig and dog droppings. I changed the bedding in all the rooms. Laundry's going. I got it going on. I made some apple wraps with all those extra apples, if you saw that on Instagram. A friend of mine has a tree, and she just has hundreds of apples, and I'm like, I can't take them all. I already get too much citrus, and I think my teeth are starting to suffer. I hope not. But they're seeming a little sensitive. I'm going to have to figure that out because I love my citrus, but I love my teeth more. All right. So in the idea of getting organized, I found this. It's probably a blog, but I will have forgive me, I can speak, as always, include it in the description of this video. It's called Stop Making Lists, Start Taking Action by Decklan Wilson. And you know, so many people, there's this ongoing argument between to-do list and not. And I can understand why it serves both ways. If you actually do your to-do list, you can feel really accomplished. But if it's just sitting there, or if you fall short of what your goal was, then of course it can just be a bummer, right? And it was kind of funny. He says, do you ever write something on your to-do list that you already accomplished just so you can check it off? I'm sure people have done that. He said it makes him feel productive. Although there's a tremendous value in having a solid system for organizing your tasks, sometimes we become slaves to the system and not the action it's supposed to draw from us. An appointment might cancel, and suddenly we're given a few hours of glimmering productive time. And what do we do with it? So I think this is really smart. One thing that he recommends is a productivity app called Trello. It's Trello, Trello, that helps you organize your life. You might want to look at it. I glanced at it. It looks like it might be more for business, but if you're into productivity apps, he says it's a good one. So the reason I picked this one is because it's so brief. He gets right to the point. He only has 3 things. 1, break your goal down to repeatable daily tasks. If you have like a long-term goal, like for instance, maybe you want to write a book, he recommends that you deliberately set the number of words per day that you're willing to do, and to do it every day at that time until ultimately it's done. So that way you're not overwhelmed. The same thing if you want to... Sorry, I'm melting. I've been running around so much I'm melting. But so why do I have a sweatshirt on? Good question. It's because my husband loves the air conditioner. And so he's got the air conditioner on stun, is what I refer to it as. And so I'm cold and hot at the same time. Okay. Anyway, the amount of cognitive processing energy you'll save by habitually taking action makes this simple strategy worthwhile. Same thing if you want to learn, I don't even know, anything you want to learn, set the time, do it daily, and it'll add up over time. He says you'll need to get used to the idea of delayed gratification. Depending on your goal, it might be months or even years before you see any significant results from your actions. And isn't that so true? People just want it yesterday. You know, it's the same thing, even like with weight loss. I try not to freak out about whether the weight's coming off or not, but what I know is it took a long time to put on. I almost have a whole sense of it. Like the last time I gained 100 pounds, it took about 4 years. I don't know if it's going to take 4 years to come off. I'm older, but I'm on the case. All right. So the second one is to be mindful of the margins in your day. We like to think we are busy. It's a classic excuse. Once we believe we're too busy, we whip out our notebook, write out all the things we need to do, and then forget about them. However, we have time. It's just dispersed throughout the day. And then he gives a few examples. Are you waiting on the bus? Are you eating lunch at your desk? Are you sitting, in the bathroom? Like, what are you doing? If you're mindful of your day, you're going to find out you have more time than you realize, and that you certainly waste more time than you realize. So he says, Going back to that writing example, if your daily goal is 500 words, aim to pound out 100 while you're drinking your morning coffee, 200 during your lunch break, 150 while, instead of reading in bed, doing that, or doing just 50 right before bed. All of a sudden you have 500, and it was only in very brief snippets throughout your day. This method isn't an optimal state of flow. However, it's practical for the average person who doesn't have 3 to 5 chunks of time. So true. I was realizing that I was doing something the other day, and then I was like, you know what? I could right now be doing my rebounder at the same time that I'm doing this. And I was doing something else. Like, I'm kind of starting to see what he's talking about, combining those chunks of time. Number 3, cut out distractions in your life like TV. I want to be self-employed by June. My wife wants to pass her pharmacy boards in May. The long, cold winter nights here in Pittsburgh make cuddling up on the couch to watch Netflix oh so tempting. So we packed up our TV and put it in the basement. Maybe it's TV, maybe it's spending too much time at the bar, maybe it's Angry Birds on your phone. Whatever your guilty pleasure might be, it's time to take a good hard look at it and cut it out. If your goal brings you lasting happiness and your distractions bring you spurts of instant gratification, it's time to make a change. God, that's so true. I understand that whole brain dead mentality because I have done it too many times. It has to be quick and sudden change. My wife and I tried limiting our TV time to 1 hour a day, but one episode of Downton Abbey always led to 2 or 3, so we pulled the plug and packed it up for good. Without the black box calling us, we are free to focus on things we know will bring real gratification in our lives. Find the snake, cut off its head. Now you have a clear path forward. Guys, and that's so true. You can't be half vegan. You can't be half vegan. I can't halfway eat this lifestyle because inevitably every time I reincorporate my, what I refer to as forbidden foods, I go crazy. It leads to 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. And it really does have to be one extreme or the other. So let's go back. I think this is really efficient and good. It's such a small article, and I'll attach it. Stop making lists, start taking action. Number 1, break your goal down into repeatable daily tasks. Number 2, be mindful of the margins in your day. Like, where is that extra time that you're not using? Cut out distractions in your life like TV. And the last one says, go deeper. Do you struggle to hit your goals? Don't you beat yourself up. Give yourself the clarity and insight you need to achieve your biggest goals. And of course, he has a product. It's called My Goal Setter Self-Audit Workbook, which I know nothing about. But I did appreciate this little reflection right here. I'm going to think about it and report back to you guys on it. Anyway, I am going to keep going. I am rocking and rolling. I'm getting productive things done without distractions per se, except for making my Jules Best Vegan video was part of my, I'm going to say goal rather than to-do list. And as always, I feel blessed to spend time with you. So if you like, join us if you haven't. Leave me comments below. What do you think of the 3 points there? Take a moment to read that page. And until we talk again, my friends, know that you're blessed.